Okay, let's dive into this. I saw the sources you sent this idea for sneakers, right?
Mm.
With like little thrusters.
Exactly. Tiny thrusters built into the soles that supposedly let you just glide across water.
It sounds amazing, like something straight out of science fiction.
It absolutely does. And that's kind of why we're doing this deep dive today. We need to figure out, are these water jet shoes actually a thing or just, well, really cool digital art?
So the concept is thrusters in the shoes, yeah.
Yeah,
And you control it with a remote.
that's the claim. A handheld remote for speed, and you just shift your weight to balance, apparently.
And the performance they're talking about, it sounds pretty wild. Speeds up to 12 miles per hour just skating on water.
Yeah, 12-mile chart. And get this rechargeable via USB-C.
Seriously, just plug your shoes into the wall.
Well, into a USB-C port, yeah. And they claim a full charge gives you about an hour of use.
An hour. Okay, that's the part that makes you really stop and think. How?
Right. It's the kind of idea that, it makes you imagine what the future could hold, or maybe what inspires new gadgets.
But it also makes you wonder about, well, the reality of it. So let's bring in the cold hard physics check.
Okay, yeah. Because this is where the dream kind of hits a wall.
Those speeds,
Yeah.
12 mile per hour.
Yeah.
What does it actually take to do that on water with something shoe-sized?
Well, here's the thing. The physics tells us the story pretty quickly. To push, let's say, an average adult across water at 12 mile per hour, you're looking at needing around 10 horsepower. Constant.
10 horsepower, just from shoes.
10 horsepower, yeah. Just to overcome the water resistance, the drag, and get enough lift. It's a lot of power.
Okay, so how much battery would that actually take?
Right. So think about batteries that fit in a shoe, even the best ones we have now. Maybe they could push out that kind of power for, 30 seconds? A minute? Tops?
If that, right. And they'd probably overheat like crazy.
Exactly. You'd have heat issues, and the battery would just be drained instantly. To get that claimed hour of runtime, I mean, you'd basically need to strap something like an 80-pound battery pack to yourself.
80 pounds. Okay, so definitely not fitting in a sneaker sole then.
Not even close. And, this leads to the real aha moment from the source material.
Which
It's
who?
all sci-fi, like completely. Those amazing videos you might see online, the smooth gliding,
Yeah.
it's all digital art, CGI. There are absolutely no working prototypes of this concept. Zero.
Wow. Okay. So it's not even like there's a clunky early version. It just doesn't exist in reality.
Correct. The physics barriers, primarily the energy density of batteries, are just too high right now.
The sources also mentioned something about water pressure challenges. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, that gets into the fluid dynamics. Real water jet devices, think like jet skis, flyboards, those things, they need big, powerful pumps.
Right. They have actual engines or large electric motors.
Exactly. They need strong impellers spinning really fast to move enough water with enough force. Trying to shrink that down to shoe size is, well, incredibly difficult.
Why is it so hard to shrink down?
Well, a couple of reasons. First, the tiny parts would need to handle immense pressure without just, breaking. Second, there's this thing called cavitation.
Cavitation.
Yeah, when the impeller spins super fast in a small space, it can actually create tiny bubbles in the water. These bubbles collapse, and that causes damage and drastically reduces the thrust.
So the tiny thrusters couldn't really push enough water effectively?
Pretty much. They either wouldn't generate enough force, or they'd destroy themselves, or they'd need way too much power. You just can't overcome the water pressure efficiently at that scale with current tech.
Okay. So we've got this really cool, imaginative, digital concept on one side.
Yeah, visually very compelling.
And then the hard reality of energy density and fluid dynamics on the other. It's not just aspirational tech. It sounds like it's currently impossible tech.
That's a fair summary. It's a fantastic concept, great for sparking ideas, maybe pushing designers to think differently. But no, you won't be buying these water walking shoes anytime soon.
Definitely not commuting across the lake in them.
Afraid not.
All right, so it's a fun idea, but strictly fantasy for now.
Do with it, yeah.
But that does lead to a final thought for you, our listener, to think about.
Yeah.
Given that battery weight and, the physics of water pressure are the real roadblocks here, what kind of fundamental breakthrough, not just making things smaller or engines bigger, but something truly foundational would actually be needed to take this water jet shoe idea from cool digital art to something you could actually maybe one day wear?